This episode of the Off Road Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Power Tank, and Medical Gear Outfitters.
Off-Road Podcast episode 2.
Tonight, Aaron finds a rat's nest, Jeremy gets jacked, and Ben goes bankrupt.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and opportunity. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Aaron and Jeremy, along with our special guest, Dietrich. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good.
The Week in Review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitter. Oh, wait, we should actually have Dietrich read this one.
I should talk about how great Medical Gear Outfitters is.
Yeah, just give us you can either read the one that's on the screen or you can go off the cuff.
Yeah, so this week in review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters, the best medical gear outfitters on the planet. What are we waiting for? We're trying to see. I can't read. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to have a casualty on the trail? Check out medicalgearoutfitters.com to get straightened out. Medical Gear Outfitters has everything you need, whether you're going to be out for the day traveling and traveling for a year-long expedition. Head over there for your off-road special kits to meet all your needs. While you're there, use coupon code OffRoadPodcast for 10% off.
Yeah.
Boom. I read it. How about that?
Yeah. That's good.
Even half asleep. It's my bedtime, guys.
Yeah, you're over on the East Coast.
I am. It is 10 o'clock.
Well,
we
we
put our kids
appreciate-
into bed by
yeah.
9, and by 10 o'clock, I'm crawling into bed.
Yeah.
Like Ben was saying, we appreciate you staying up late for us and for our listeners and our viewers now, since we're live on the air with our faces.
Awesome. No, I'm excited. We've been working with you guys for a while now, so I've been excited to come on y'all's show.
Well, Ben, we'll start with you this week.
What? Me first? There's a rare one.
Yeah, you're normally too late to be first.
I'm either late or last. So, not much off-road. Mainly due in part because my Forerunner's not fixed. Ordered parts. Waiting on them to get to the shop. So yeah, I'm just looking at ways to spend money without my wife knowing. So yeah, I'm
So,
just looking at
I gotta
upgrade some stuff.
ask about this last mishap. So you talked about a couple parts that you think you needed, and then it was going to be able to get back on road. I'm going to guess that you've probably found some other things that aren't working right, and that's why you need to buy more parts.
So my suspension, I want to go full 3 inches. So because I'm not right now, so I've got to fix that.
Are you supposed like 6 inches or?
No, I'm like 1.5, 2 inches lifted. So with going to 35s, I want to go to the full 3. Because after that, it gets really expensive to do that for a Forerunner, so it's not worth it. So I'm gonna do that. And then I found my brakes were not working fully when I was leaving, so I think I stretched the brake line and damaged the rubber hose. So I got a new one of those, and my brakes, we noticed in some of the pictures that it doesn't look like they were fully engaging. So that might be because of the brakes. So I'm new brake pad. So I don't know. I'm just like looking at upgrading stuff.
So you don't know why the brakes were not fully engaging? I mean, it literally looked like you were just rubbing on part of your caliper.
Well, no, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. Haven't fully inspected. Yeah, I did miss the joke, Rick. Yeah, in fourth gen, Josh mentioned here that the 4th gen calipers are known for seizing up, so it could just be seized.
Some
So-
good comments
so,
here in the comment section.
I
Yeah,
say
we're
the comment
just-
section is pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, what have you been up to?
Well, I did a bunch of vehicle maintenance. Right before the election was coming, we had our Into the World Apocalypse episode, and I talked about vehicle maintenance in that. And I took my advice and I bought some windshield wiper blades and I bought some engine air filters and cabin air filters. And we got the oil change in our rigs. And so it was finally time for me to install those filters. So I did air filters on 3 rigs, cabin air filter on my pickup. Um, I talked about needing to replace that sensor in my ARB tire inflator, so I got that done. Windshield wipers on a couple rigs, so just some boring maintenance stuff, but it's important for it to get done. Oh, also, I for maybe a year I haven't been able to roll up or down my passenger window from the driver's side door, but it works fine from the passenger side door. So I bought a new set of switches and installed that too, and now it works. It's amazing. It took me maybe 3 minutes to remove and replace and install, and it was a super inexpensive part. And I waited over a year for that fix. It's just kind of dumb sometimes, thinking it's going to be difficult or costly, and I should have just bit the bullet a year ago, and it would have been working a long time ago.
I did a window, the actuator come up and down in the Excursion, and that was a pain in the rear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all inside stuff. This was you pry a little tiny plastic cover off of the arm rest area, and then there's 3 Phillips screws that hold the window switches in and 1 electronic plug. Unplug that, 3 screws out, 3 screws in, plug the plug back in, and then it snapped. It was very fast. Jeremy, what have you been up to?
Well, I got some new jack stands. So the jack stands I have are not tall enough to get. Well, I also found out that I just had 2-ton jack stands, which is a little bit underweighted for this vehicle.
Well, you're not holding the whole vehicle up. You're only holding up one end or the other. So that's 4,000
Yeah.
pounds. I think that they're probably capable of supporting one end of your rig, even the heavy end.
Well, so I think my rig's just a tad over 4,000 pounds with how it is right now. So, but I mean, you're still over the recommended weight because they rate those as pairs, not as singles.
But you said 2 tons, right? 4,000 pounds.
Oh yeah, I guess you're probably right.
It's the
Engineer over
engineer.
Math.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But I picked up some 12-ton ones, just something that could reach the frame. Because I mean, the frame on my rig's like 20 or 18 inches off the ground as it is. So I picked up a set of 4 12-ton jacks stands just to get up to 28 inches. Is how high these ones go. So I can definitely lift everything off the ground to get a 5-inch lift in there. Be able to drop the axle far enough down. Other than that, yeah, just that's about it. Trying to game plan for this
Good.
vehicle. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you can your new jack stands would support the entire LMTV I used to own, holding it completely up off the ground with just those 2 jack stands if you could balance it.
It was only 12 tons or less than.
It was 9 tons. So fully loaded for the off-road weight, it would be like 25,000 pounds. So if it was fully loaded, it would just barely be too much weight for your 2 jack stands.
You know what we should try once I get all the wheels back on is 1 jack stand will hold my rig. So once we get the skid
Yeah.
plates on, we should just try to balance it on the skid
Find
plate.
the balance point. Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yep. Here come the Twitch comments.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I love them. They're great.
Rick had a good one with the new math there.
Yeah,
I'm doing
Def-
Common Core over here.
I think so.
Yeah, other than that, I started taking some things off. Like I took the inner fender liners off of the front. I took one of the shocks off because I wanted to measure what the length was. There's still plenty of life left in these shocks. I was actually a little bit surprised. I figured they were going to be bad at this point, but oh well. How about you, Dietrich? What have you been up to?
Been working, honestly. I have not had time to get out in the woods and do very much of anything. So, as we were talking about before the show, it's been a busy weekend. A friend of mine, house caught fire, so we've been helping him all weekend and kind of doing things like that. So it's been a long few days, but yeah, I really haven't had a chance to do anything outdoors in a few weeks. So I'm kind of ready. The weather's perfect here. The leaves are changing, so we don't have any snow like you guys right now. So thank goodness. But it's perfect. The leaves are changing. It's a great time to get out and just ride. So looking forward to some downtime.
Oh yeah, I think just a couple weeks ago you guys were out a big shoot or something.
Yeah, Sean and I went down to the Epic Shoot in Savannah, Georgia, with Big Daddy Unlimited. Uh, Good times. Got to shoot a suppressed 50 cal, which is pretty exciting.
Wow.
I've shot a 50 cal before, but not suppressed. It was perfectly here and safe. So that was pretty cool. Got to meet a lot of, there's some new gun companies and things like that we're going to talk to, but able to see our friends in the industry and the ones we see a few times a year. So
Did he?
it was a small event, but it was fun.
We this was in the main topic, but we'll just throw it in here since you were already talking about it. We saw your announcement that you're teaming up with Polymer 80 to do some 80% tourniquets.
Yeah, we were at the Waffle House that morning, and we're having breakfast. Me, Sean, and Palmer 80's marketing guy, and we're just like over Waffle House breakfast. He was like, "Hey, you should do 80% tourniquets." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!" I actually have a polymer windlass that we're working on over there. Like I see it, and so yeah, we're gonna team up with them. Maybe do like a little giveaway or something like that. But come up with like an 80% tourniquet. You have to like whittle the windlass, get the windlass right, do a little bit of sewing, and get it ready to go. So we may do like a giveaway with that. So it'll be fun.
Make sure you print on there that you need to do this before you need it.
Yes.
Don't put it in your kit as an 80%er.
You have 30 seconds to put your turn together and then another 30 seconds to get it on your arm. So it definitely ups the game a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be the new metric to measure by.
Definitely. But no, it was fun. It's a good event. So
are they going to start covering that in TCCC?
yes, definitely. It's the introduction to kind of weed you out to see if you're good enough to continue on to the class.
There you go.
Hey guys, we're looking to reach more listeners. We're going to start reading Apple iTunes reviews on air. If you hear yours, send us a message with your address, and we'll send you an Off-Road Podcast sticker. You can find all of our social media by just searching our name. Now, go hit that subscribe button.
Also, we want to thank one of our favorite sponsors, Patriot Patch, for their great selection of patches and shirts. Their Patch of the Month Club. They just released a limited run last Friday. You're listening to this, it's always too late on their limited runs. They sell out in just minutes. But it was a guy doing like Overwatch with a suppressed sniper rifle, and it said Peaceful Observer. That's right. Peaceful Observer. It's on a play on the quote unquote peaceful protest we've had here in Portland, Oregon. So yeah, Peaceful Observer. Cool patch.
Sorry, I was trying to respond to people in the comments section.
No problem.
The news is brought to you by PowerTank, the ultimate mobile onboard air system for performance, versatility, and reliability. They are your source for all air-related accessories. Check them out at powertank.com.
Well, the into the
Then you should
news.
take this first one.
Ben,
Well, let me start off with no. Apparently, you're not going to be able to buy a Toyota Tacoma with a snorkel from the factory anymore as of 2021. Um, why would they do such a thing?
did they say in the article?
I'm not sure. The article doesn't say. No, they don't. And it's just someone who was going through the configure whatever you do when you go on their website and build a rig, and it wasn't an option anymore. So I don't know. Have you guys heard of any like recalls or anything, or people going through
No, I
car
haven't
washes
heard of-
and getting them ripped off?
I haven't heard of anything like that. I'm guessing it's just they don't want the extra work at the factory and they're trying to speed up the process due to limited supplies and all that.
I bet it's just people just weren't buying it probably.
That's possible. Maybe there wasn't enough people buying them to justify the cost of building them.
Yeah.
I can only
'cause
imagine
is
what
it
kind of work
from the factory. It's a $750 add-on. What's
Yeah.
an Air B1 costs? I want to say like
About that.
500, 600, something like that.
Rick thinks that they aren't doing it because snorkels are silly.
I kind of agree.
Well, apparently Rick missed out on me dumping out all the dust out of my intake during the Nevada trip.
Yeah, it totally did its job. It snorked all that dust.
Wait, I thought that's what you didn't want it to do.
Well, he has a pre-filter, so it
Oh, yeah,
snorks it in the pre-filter. He's got that bowl up there. He's snorking his bowl.
It's like some nice fine powder to pour out across my hood and snort up later.
Sounds like you need to move to Oregon.
Well, I don't think you need to just snort any of that dust because just being outside with the wind and how fine that stuff was, we were all blowing brown boogers anyways on that trip.
Oh yeah, we were.
So, yeah. Well, our next news article here is about the Ford Bronco, and they're calling it the Warthog. Is testing at the Silver Lakes sand dunes, and it's just a short little video. And what's cool about the video is it shows the turning brakes in action, where it locks up the inside wheel and lets it turn really fast to make a U-turn kind of a thing. And it only does it one time, and then they go faster and faster. So the speculation is that it only works up to a certain speed that you can use that turning feature. Kind of a neat thing.
Well, moving on to the next article here, we got a lot of news this week.
Yeah, we do.
Nissan teases a new SUV. So they put out a little teaser video, and it looks like they're teasing a truck-based SUV. So for all those Nissan fans, I'm pretty sure that's just Aaron and the Nissan Nation podcast, and I think that's about it. But I'm sure they'll be excited because it looks like it may be a new Xterra.
And it's going to be just like the Chevy
Well-
Trailblazer.
Let's hope not. Let's hope it's more of a Ford Bronco than a Chevy Blazer.
In foreign markets, there is something called the Nissan Terra. It doesn't have the X, and I don't know for sure. I've not looked into it, but I think it is a body-on-frame SUV, and they're saying that they're giving it the X treatment, whatever the X treatment is. So maybe they're just putting an X in front of it, and so there will be a new Xterra. We don't know.
It's an extreme.
I hope
the
so. I mean,
X
we
treatment.
saw a big push from body on frame SUVs to more of the unibody SUVs, and I'm hoping we're starting to see a trend pushing back.
Yeah,
But we'll find
definitely.
out. So the last
Yeah.
article here is another incident of somebody getting Googled. So a Amazon Prime van drove into a 4x4 trail in California, following their GPS. It was actually not too far from the spot where the Jeep got stuck on the cliff. It was like about an hour away. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know where he was delivering. If he was trying to deliver something to those guys stuck up there, who knows? Um, obviously, that's not true because they've been gone for a while. But um, yeah, and so he got stuck, and he tried to. They called a bunch of tow companies, and the tow company said, "No, we're not coming out to get you." So apparently, he called 911, and they sent. It looked like they sent a helicopter out to get the driver. So they picked up the driver, and then Amazon called some off-roaders and said, "Hey, please, can you get this van out?" And they went out and winched it out pretty easily and got it off the trail, and apparently made some good money for just a little bit of work.
We got a
Yeah,
call like that
what was
recently.
interest Did you for an Amazon rig?
No, it was for a guy who went into the back gate. There's a off-road park not far from us, and he went in the back gate, saw it was unlocked, and went into this off-road park. Got his truck stuck in the mud. Mud was coming in water, so that's coming into his truck. So he just sat there and called 911 and said, I'm stuck in my vehicle. So they sent out fire, rescue, EMS, all these people out there to him. And we're like, what do you want us to do, buddy? And so they got him out of the car, called the cops, and the park said, we're going to keep your truck for a while. So it may still be stuck in the mud. I'm not sure. But yeah, he called 911 because his vehicle was stuck in the
Wow.
mud.
And he learned
Oh my
too
goodness.
quickly that SAR does not get your vehicle.
Yes.
Not responsible for people.
get
We
the
are
people.
responsible.
Yeah.
Or yeah, the opposite of that. We are responsible for people, not your goods.
And just wanted to point out that Silver
do-
1E6 on YouTube said he wants to see more live front axles too, which I agree.
Yeah.
IFS all.
One more thing about this Amazon was that the recovery people, the 4x4 club, mentioned that they talked to I can't remember who they talked to, if it was the Amazon delivery driver or somebody else, but they were telling them that the Amazon drivers are required to follow the routes that Amazon gives them. So like the GPS route out, and they're not supposed to deviate from it. So it sounded like it was a frequent thing for Amazon drivers.
Was Aaron a robot for anybody else?
He was for me too.
Okay.
So what Aaron was saying, is, if you
bummer.
couldn't understand the robot, is that they are given coordinates on their GPS and they're not allowed to deviate from that. And if they deviate from that, they get in trouble. So he was only doing what he was told to do by work. So he got Googled to off road in an Amazon van.
Which honestly sounds like the most awesome thing possible if you're an off-roader, because you're just like, hey, I don't care about this thing. The GPS took me on this track. I'm just gonna have some fun. If I break something or
Just-
get stuck, that's
Just
that.
tear it up.
Yeah,
I'd have
send
a
it.
blast.
Yeah, so I think the article said because he was following the designated route, he would not get in trouble for it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally jump that thing.
I don't know if they thought you were negligent, then maybe. I don't know.
It's probably got some of those shows like the G Forces or something where it's slamming down the ground.
Skinny pedal.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
Well, Dietrich, welcome back, man.
Thank you. It's
been-
been a while since I've been on the show.
Yeah, it's been a little while, and I mean, since then you've become a sponsor of the show. So we're sponsored by Medical Gear Outfitters, and we thought up of a few more questions. Plus, we figured we'd talk about our kits we built with you. But let's start off with our first question here is how's business been during COVID for you?
It's been a crazy year. Being completely honest, we saw that the huge spike of medical kits that first of March, and supplies, and then it kind of leveled out a little bit, and we were really struggling getting supplies in stock. And we still do struggle. It's kind of weird, like just random stuff, like alcohol wipes or the alcohol pads. We cannot get those in stock, so we have to source those from different companies, things like that. But um, or we've had some trouble with some bandages now we can't get in stock. So it's been a weird year, but we're blessed. We've added a couple employees for us to try to keep up with demand. So before COVID, we were able to ship stuff out the same day. If you ordered it before lunchtime, pretty sure we could get it shipped out the same day. And now we're probably 2 to 3 days backed out on shipping orders out. So which isn't terrible considering what's going on, but we've added a few employees a year, and so we're trying to continue to grow.
That's a sounds like it's a good problem to have almost. I mean, some of it's bad, but obviously being able to add some employees, I mean, that's good for some locals because I'm sure they possibly were affected from COVID, not being able to have a job.
Definitely, it's been nice. We hire EMTs or paramedics, so it's been good for us to get some of them some side hustle. They can kind of come in on their days off and help us out. So it's been a weird year. So we're blessed that we knew it was going to be a kind of a crazy year going into the fall with the election season, but then COVID definitely threw us for a twist there. So, but we've been blessed.
That's great. Yeah. So we asked you this on the last show, but it's worth repeating. So, what are your thoughts on people having things in their kits that they don't know how to use?
I still am I can argue both sides of this, being completely honest. I can sit there and argue, yep, that way you have it. That way, if someone shows up on the trail or shows up on the side of the road that has the knowledge to know how to use it. But then on the other side, I'm like, man, this stuff's expensive. Some of this, these items can be expensive. So I'd rather see you invest your money in things you know how to use, and um, money probably better well spent. So um, that's what I feel like. I feel like it's better just to have the knowledge and the equipment to go the same.
If you had to pick one thing, equipment or knowledge, which would you pick?
Ooh, I would say knowledge, because then I could know how to improvise and know how to work with limited equipment. So I could have a great tourniquet and not know how to use it, and not know how the tips and tricks on how to use it, and be in trouble. So I say knowledge.
So, are there training programs out there that you would recommend to folks, who for like lay people, not maybe for people who want to take EMT classes? Because I'm sure if someone wants to do that, they can seek that out. But there's some training programs out there you'd recommend, and if some of them are expensive, are there some that you might recommend that are inexpensive as well?
So I would say start out with a Stop the Bleed course. You can go to bleedingcontrol.org and find that. Those are generally either super cheap or free. They're usually like a couple hours long. You can find there's places to search on bleedingcontrol.org to find a class near you. So those are super cheap. There's other classes that are, maybe a 1 or 2 day course. I know Sean from We Like Shooting. It does classes out on the West Coast, and then I've been doing classes on the East Coast. And sorry, my computer just beeped. And so we can, skinnymedic.com or we like shooting.com. Sean and I are doing classes. They're 1 day classes, 8-hour courses. So those are good courses, obviously. And then First Care Provider is another course that you can find, and it's kind of a Stop the Bleed on steroids. So it's a firstcareprovider.org.
So, what are the main things people die out in the woods from?
That was a tough one. I didn't read that one ahead. I would say I still think bleeding, like people fall, like that could be like from a fall, from an accident, things like that. So, people being injured from a fall or a motor vehicle accident, they're bleeding out. So, I still think that would be the number one cause. We run a lot of just injured people, broken ankles, broken legs, arms, stuff like that. So very minor injuries, but I think falls is going to be the big one. I like Rick's the stupidity. That's probably
Yeah. Well, one I can think of that I've seen a lot of out here is exposure.
and
'Cause
see over here, like on the East Coast, we are not have as big as trails as you guys have. So it's very rare that we have to go out and spend the night with someone or they're not outside overnight. So generally we can get to them pretty quick within a couple hours and get to them back. So I think the longest one we've had this year has probably been 4 hours to them and a few hours back. So we can generally get to them before they have to spend the night in the woods. I'm not saying they don't have to, but we try to get to them before that.
So now we kind of just wanted to jump into covering the kits. So as you guys have heard on the show, we worked with Dietrich at Medical Gear Outfitters to develop 2 kits for off-roaders. So the first one is called the Overlander kit. So who is this kit really designed for?
So we marketed this kit for someone who was maybe going to be outdoors for a couple of hours, not too far from home, but something they could throw in their vehicle. They could put it to their headrest. They could put it to the roll bar. It a quick way to get to their kit, easy access to it, but it wasn't super big, but had a lot of stuff into it. And honestly, I've been marketing it to Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, camping, because it's got a lot of stuff in there you could use for camping and being outdoors other than just off-roading. So we've been marketing to a good bit. So I'll show you if I hit my microphone. We put it in the rip-away pouch. So you could put this to your roll cage, headrest, however you want to secure it. And then with this buckle, it pulls loose from the panel. And then you have your first aid kit here ready to go. So it's quick access. It is packed jam tight too. So I'll try to show it for the camera. We put basic first aid supplies in here, like bandaging, 5x9s, 4x4s, rolls of clean. There's some triangle bandages in here we could use for splinting. We put a pair of EMT shears in here. We put a splint in here that can be for a fracture or dislocation. It's folded up so it comes out. There's a cat tourniquet. There's a pressure bandage in here. We did do some tape, gloves. There's a CPR shield. There's some medicines in here. We put some triple antibiotic ointment. There's burn gel. What was the other medicine? We put Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin. Didn't we? And acid. We put some Tums in there as well. And then what else? Let's see.
Tums are always good for trail.
Yes. The cool thing, this is one of you guys' idea. I think was it Ben's idea to put this in? I don't remember.
It was.
But for the ticks, like this thing, I had not seen this, and our people in our shop had not seen this until you guys told us about it. So it's a little hook that slides in and splits the tick, and you can remove the tick without using pliers or trying to squeeze the tick. It has 3 different sizes. So this is a pretty cool thing. I really like this.
Ticks suck. If you've ever experienced having to get a tick out, I mean, they're a pain in the butt to get out.
And then we also did some water purification tabs and some second skin. So thinking about hiking with blisters and things like that, we thought that was a cool thing to add into the kit. But I think that's a cool kit. Like I think it's got multiple purposes other than just being off road, but for camping, hiking, just general outdoors, I think it's a great kit for something like that.
Yeah, and what I really like about it is it's got everything that you need there. It's not like a cookie cutter kit that just has the basics. It's got everything you need. You buy the kit, you're set. You don't have to buy all this extra stuff after you buy a cool little bag.
So, Silver asked about the special compression. Yes, it has the Israeli pressure bandage in it, so you could use that for a snake bite. This is a good
Nice.
kit because it generally does have the basic first aid boo type stuff all the way up to the trauma stuff. So I think it's a complete kit. There's nothing really to add to it.
Do you have a favorite feature of it, or was that the tick removal thing?
The tick remover, honestly, like I know that's not in the big scheme of things. It's got a cat tourniquet, it's got a pressure bandage, but the tick remover, I was like, that is really cool. I have not seen that before. We're taught, EMT paramedic to use a credit card to kind of slide the tick off, so you don't want to squeeze the tick, but to kind of slide it off. I know guys who've like tried to talk about burning the tick, but that remover is pretty doggone cool.
So what's the cost of this kit?
I should have looked that up again.
I got it right here. It's $129.99. So I think right now you guys are running a 15% off.
We are till Cyber Monday, so we are running a sale on it right now. So you get 15% off, but typically using the Off-Road Podcast coupon code, you get 10% off.
Yep. So that would bring it down to like 113, or sorry, 117.
Nice.
And you
I
can
should
choose
ask
your
you this
color,
since
like,
we've
if
got
you want-
some. Sorry about that. We've got people from around the world in our chat here. Do you ship around the world?
We do not, unfortunately. We have signed contracts with companies like North American Rescue and TAC Med Solutions, things like that. That says we cannot ship outside the United States.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a bummer. I wish we could. I'm gonna pull the big one out. It'll take me a second.
And with that said,
And what Dietrich was also mentioning there was he has several different other colors for those bags. Holy moly, you can't see him behind that.
Yeah.
disappeared.
I'm gonna slide back out of the camera view for this thing.
All right, tell us about this kit.
Can that be used as a flotation device? It's huge.
It actually will float. This bag, the way the container is set up, it will float if you throw this in the water.
You say bag, but
Sorry.
so this is the expedition kit that we're talking about now. So go ahead and describe it, Dietrich.
This one has everything but the kitchen sink.
Oh, I guess we forgot to put that in, guys.
Oh, damn. Well, I mean,
Kitchen
technically,
sink,
you could
yeah.
turn that into a sink. Just empty it all out, and there you go. It's a sink. Or at least a water basin.
So this one, we took the overlanding kit and we kind of expanded it and said, thinking about what if you had to spend the weekend in the woods, your rig broke down, it's going to be overnight trip, someone gets injured, what's some things you could need for over the weekend, maybe even longer than that, in the woods by yourself. So we kind of had more room here, obviously, so we upgraded some things, made some bigger items, like instead of having the water purification tablets, we did the Sawyer mini water filter, so you have that. Trying to think what else we'll see. We did new skin here. We did some wound cleaning things. So we had like a whole bottle of betadine with the syringes. We also did include some saline so you could keep a wound clean and keep it from getting infected as best possible. We put big boxes of 5x9s in here. I'm going to have this thing destroyed. There's a first aid book in there. So if maybe you don't have the knowledge that you need, you have some basics here. We put in 2 survival blankets because keeping someone off the ground is important because the ground's just going to suck the heat right out of them. So we give you 2 different options. This is the cheap one that most kits come with, but this blizzard blanket is huge. So it gives you two different options for keeping someone warm. Put the tick remover back in there.
Can you just go back to the blizzard blanket and why is that one a better blanket? What makes that better than the cheapo one?
The cheapo one has one layer of Mylar, and it's not very. It's big enough ish to cover you, but not very big. The blizzard blanket is a dual layer, and it's much bigger. It'll full encapsulates you from head to toe, so it's going to do much better to preserving your body heat. See, we had some more bandaging supplies in here. Triangle bandages. We put a full box of 4x4s. Chest seals, burn gel. Some more of the moleskin. There's a cat tourniquet. We put an ace wrap in there with an Israeli. So you get like an ace wrap for like a sprain. And then we did a 6-inch Israeli. We also did an 8-inch Israeli. CPR shield, combat gauze, gloves, a dental kit. We did another splint. There's a tourniquet. I think I mentioned that. We did 2 hot packs. And then we also did
I
2
feel
cold packs.
I feel like I'm watching Mary Poppins, and she just keeps pulling stuff out of her bag.
There's so much stuff in this kit.
Seriously,
Yeah.
if you're listening to the recorded version of the podcast, go over to the YouTube video just to see how much gear he's pulling out of this thing and seeing how awesome these kits are.
We did a surgical kit. There's
What's
a blood
what's
pressure.
in a surgical? What's in a surgical kit?
So that's got our stainless steel tools, like our tweezers, some scissors. It also has some sutures in here as well, just in case you have the training to know how to suture someone. So basically, all that's in this kit here.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the surgical kit because a lot of people who do like trips to like third world countries, go down to Latin America and all. A lot of people recommend you actually bring a surgical kit, not for you to use on yourself, but in case you end up in a hospital that just doesn't have good cleanliness. You're out of a major city or something, you could hand them your supplies and say, here, use these.
Yep.
That's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that. We have another box of triangle bandage. We'll keep pulling stuff out. We have some bite and sting ampules. We have some eye wash. Hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's like gold plated right now.
That is serious. That's worth its weight in gold right there. Some more gloves. We did the eye shields and eye pads. That way for an eye injury, things like that, you're able to control both eyes.
So for the people not watching, when he says it comes with an iPad, that's a bandage, not a video screen.
Yes. Then we have a multi-trauma dressing and a burn sheet. We did our boo-boo kit, which comes with the Tums. There was there's a Pepto in here as well. Some pain meds, Benadryl. We did more bite and sting pads here. There's butterfly bandages, Band-Aids, all that in here. Then another set of tweezers, a window punch, a seatbelt cutter, and a pupil light. And we're done.
Yeah, it's a huge list of gear.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's about anything that we could think of that you would need if you're going to be, way back in the woods somewhere.
Definitely. And we put it in a bright orange case too. That way, if it's in your rig with other Pelican cases or other type cases like that, then you recognize this is a first aid kit. So even if you're not able to get to your kit, someone else can. And we put the Skinny Medic logo, so hopefully it helps identify that it is a first aid kit. But this kit is a Nanook. We tried to destroy one on video on the YouTube channel, and like I had to end up just shooting it to get it damaged.
Should have run it over with an LMTV.
I ran it over my truck, and it didn't. It did just fine.
Wow.
Did it stop your truck?
Sir?
Did it stop your truck when you hit it?
No, I run it. It's an F-150. That thing drove right over it. Actually, to be
runner.
completely honestly, I drove over the little small case with my F-150, not that big one.
We got a comment in the comments section. I bet Ben could break it.
I can
Yeah.
break anything.
Probably true.
I mean, I drug it around, like I stood on top of it. I just ended up just shooting it with a gun, and that really ticked off the people. But that's the way we finally broke it.
Why did that tick off the people?
But anytime I destroy something on YouTube, people will get really upset with that. So they think I should just give it to them instead of destroying it.
I see.
I can understand that. Not really, but you know.
It's fun. And I mean, that's an expensive kit, though. I mean, it's over $500. It's like what, $514.99, I think is what we sell it for.
Yep.
So I think it has a very distinct person who wants that kit. It's going to be someone who's going to spend a lot of time outdoors, maybe days to weeks without coming back home. So I think that's who it is. I think it does take some training to go with that kit. You know, you're going to need some basic first aid, stop the bleed, maybe like a wilderness first aid class, things like that for that kit. So it is definitely going to take some knowledge. But for that type of person, I think it's a great kit.
Yeah, and I really think that if you have that kit, if you have the money to buy that kit, you should be able to afford a class for the learning the ability to use everything in that kit, or at least close to it.
When you check out, Rick, there's a coupon code, or when you go to check out on the page, the cart says apply coupon, and you can put Off-Road Podcast.
So for those who aren't on the YouTube or anything, Rick was asking where to apply the code. So here it is, Rick. It's on the YouTube. Just look right there. You can apply it right there after you hit checkout.
Jeremy, just going to put your credit card information in. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Send it.
Yeah, it's already packed up. Well, it was packed up. I can get it packed up.
He'll have it done by the morning.
If you pack it up, I'll take an extra $20 off.
That means I got to fly it. Not put back together. So
it comes in 2 boxes now. You get your case and then just random supplies thrown in there.
If I can pack some of those guns in there too, that would be worth it.
I don't know if there's room to add anything else. Maybe if you squished a little bitty gun in there, you could do it. But yeah,
you drop.
It's heavy.
Drop one round of 9mm in there.
Well,
but the price
like
will drastically go up.
Yeah,
definitely. It's a heavy kit. I think it's 25 pounds, if I remember correctly.
That is a heavy kit.
Yeah,
So
and
go ahead, Ben.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, and it seems like even with everything in there, you could probably break down some of the stuff and fit more stuff in there if you really wanted to. You just have to
Definitely. I
start
think like you could take some stuff out of the boxes that we put in there just because we're selling something new. You could take it out of the box, and we packed it up to the brim, but it still leaves the lid. So you got about an inch of space that you could really work with too to add some more stuff that you wanted to. Maybe some meds that you're thinking about that we didn't think about. Maybe an EpiPen that you have a prescription for. Maybe some things like that that's more tailored towards you as an individual.
So could you think you could fit one of those with the Henry AR-7s in there?
No.
Probably. I bet you could. That's the one that folds up into its own stock. If you said there's an inch of space, you could put it on the top and smash it down.
I think it'd still be too long.
Oh,
I might could smash that in there.
No,
Maybe.
no.
The
Ben said
an
an AR-7.
Okay,
one-
yeah.
It's the 22 that the
Survival
barrel
rifle.
comes off. Yeah,
Yep.
that goes into the stock. Yeah, that'd
So
fit
that's
in
probably
there.
about an inch there. It might lay flat in there.
So
We're gonna
go
get
ahead.
kicked off YouTube because I did that, right? Crap.
Hopefully not.
It's my bad. Sorry, I'll never be back.
So what's your favorite piece or feature about the expedition kit?
Honestly, like for that one, it's the case. I've been super excited about those cases. They're comparable to the Pelican cases, but they're indestructible. We put them in another kit, and I've been using them to fly with, to fly pistols with, things like that. So that case is awesome.
Nice.
Well, Skinny, we definitely appreciate you working with us on those, and it was really a fun time for the three of us to come together and kind of look at your website and go, okay, what do we want in this thing? And we had a good time with it, and you just put them together so well.
Yeah, I think that was a fun project because you guys had an end result in my mind, and I was able to kind of help guide you guys along that. And you guys have the expertise of the overlanding, off-roading, and the kind of injuries that you've seen. And so we were able to combine that. Go, all right, well, if you've seen these injuries, this is how I'd fix it. This is the gear I need. So be able to work together. I think this is a cool kit. There's not very many kits like it on the market, so I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of how we Go ahead, Ben.
all right. So what I was gonna say is, like looking at the kits that were available online, all of them are very cookie cutter. It's like here's a bunch of band-aids, maybe some gauze, and that's about it. And it was fun really sitting there with the guys and okay, let's make this not cookie cutter. Let's make this actual end user and not have to add anything.
Yeah, what I was saying was that we wrote down a list of ways that people can get injured out there on the trail or out while they're camping or hiking and things like that. And um, then we kind of brainstormed about what kind of injuries get caused from those things, rollover accidents or exposure, things like that. And we tried to build the kits around the sport and around the industry and around what people do. So yeah, I'm super stoked about how they came out.
I mostly thought about how many ways Ben's been injured.
Yeah. For sure. Injured by his children.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how haven't I been injured on the trail?
If you guys
Yep.
haven't seen that survival blanket, like the blizzard blanket, I would go look that up. Like there's videos and pictures of it. I've used it 2 or 3 times this year for hiking injuries, pick up hikers, stuff like that. So the cheaper Mylar blankets are nice, but you unfold them, they tear. They're just not very good. And so that blizzard blanket, it really is nice.
Yeah. And I think you talked about sometimes you put one on the ground and wrap the other person in one, so it's important to have two anyways.
Yes, so I would use the silver one to go to my ground to kind of create that barrier for someone who's maybe getting hypothermic, and then I would use the orange one for the top layer to kind of tuck up under their arms, tuck up under their legs, then tuck up on their torso to kind of keep them warm. Uh, Someone's asking about how long those items are going to last. Really, the only thing, I mean, some of the medicines may expire within a few years. The combat goggles has a 5-year shelf life. So I feel like you've got a good at least 5 years before you have to start thinking about things expiring in that kit. But most of the things are not going to expire. You've got, the bandaging supplies are not going to expire. The betadine is not going to really expire at all. But it's the combat goggles and maybe some of the medicines you need to rotate through. And none of the heat or cold's going to affect any of them for the most part. So just check them when you change your batteries in your smoke detectors. Just go through your med kit and double check your medicines, your expiration dates, and then change them out.
So like every 10 years when you check your smoke detectors?
Right. When they start beeping, that's when you should change them out.
I don't know why
Rick
they
may
didn't go off when I had that kitchen fire.
Yeah.
Actually, they're making, I've installed quite a few smoke detectors this year. They're making them with 10-year batteries. And actually, you're supposed to replace your smoke detectors every 10 years now. So they're making smoke detectors with lithium ion batteries that don't need changing anymore. So I might have to
That
think
you
of a new
can't
way to
change too.
time it. Yep, you can't change
Man, you
them.
just busted my bubble there.
I know you're gonna have to think of a new thing like um,
When you
when
change your
daylight
clocks.
savings time comes around. Until they cancel daylight savings time.
we
Yeah.
can only hope.
All right. So just tell the editor to back
we
that
can
up
only
so I
hope.
don't look like an idiot. Just say, hey, so when you
Oh.
change your clocks back, you should check your medicine tabs. And
No, good luck on that.
Yeah.
Editor is an
Yeah.
idiot.
he's pretty shady.
Yep. I think you might know. You might share an editor like ours.
Yes. It's probably the same editor.
Yeah. Well, can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can find you and your awesome gear?
So we are on YouTube, Skinny Medic, and then we have a podcast as well, Civilian Medical, and so we go over basically everything. We over time we'll show you, we'll talk to you about how to use everything in your kit you guys are talking about. Um, so and then medicalgearoutfitters.com is our supply store. So I appreciate the support over there. Like I said, we went from $100 on the kitchen table in 2013 to now we have 7 employees. So I appreciate the support.
I want to re-mention what you're talking about on YouTube and stuff. We talked before the show. I was talking about a product that I bought, and I went on YouTube to figure out how it worked and how to use it. And the first video that came up, I didn't realize it. I clicked it, and then it was you talking. And you've got quite a bit of videos out there showing not only how to use gear, but how to use the medical supplies. So, really good resource there on YouTube.
Definitely, and that's why we started the channel, was to open up, show you guys how to use the expensive stuff, like the cat tourniquet, the combat galls, that blizzard blanket, thing that's are expensive, and you don't want to open up your stuff and have it go bad. So if I can show you on camera how to use it, what it looks like, it kind of helps you along the process of, in case you find yourself in an emergency. And then we started doing the after action reports a lot here recently, because we found out that people are, when they see something very traumatic, they're in shock. They're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what to do here. And it takes a while for our brain to kind of figure out what the heck is going on here. So if I can show you that stuff on video, it helps you process faster during a real emergency. So YouTube loves those kind of videos. They just put ads all over it. So it's been good for the channel.
Nice. That's good.
I'm totally lying. YouTube hates those videos. They demonetize them the moment I hit upload.
For the medical gear?
Yeah, anytime I mention that's a lot of blood, or this guy got stabbed, or this guy got shot, it's immediately demonetized.
Oh, I see. For the after action report videos.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Got to work a code.
I gotta start winking, like,
Yeah.
figure out code words, like safe words.
Yeah, pineapple.
Yeah, that sure is a lot of pineapple on the floor right now.
Well, we want to thank
Awkward
everybody who
silence.
listens to us weekly, and also those who are watching us live and stuff right now. We really appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without our listeners tuning in. If we didn't have an audience checking us out, we wouldn't have the strength to keep doing this stuff and listen to ourselves. So we appreciate you guys out there. And if you haven't done it, share us with your friends. Tell your coworkers about us, tell your family members, especially when we do podcasts like this about medical gear stuff, which it might not be up their alley to talk about off-road stuff, but tell them about these podcasts we do with cool people like Skinny Medic, and you could also tell him about his podcast too. So thanks for helping us grow.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren and Power Tank to see all of their great gear. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.tv or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com, Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe and courteous, and thanks for listening.
Gotta watch out for that pineapple.
And that went out on the radio.
I know.